Well, the idea that you would die and would have seen nothing of the world, that really scares me, you know? I mean, I think a normal life is so normal, and when you go out, you know, see things in the world, then you, yeah, just like he says, you know, everything is magical and, yeah, it's special. So I wouldn't have spent my life for the rest of my life behind a computer in an office, you know.
I've been travelling for just about 6 months now. And how long have you been travelling?
Coming up 4 years.
And is this your first big trip?
No, this is probably, in terms of overseas trips, I would guess my 7th or 8th long one.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long are you travelling for in total?
1 year.
5 months.
How many times have you been to India?
This is my third time.
6 years, not enough. I just love traveling.
In total, I will travel 9.5 months.
And how long has it been so far?
Now it's nearly 7 months, so there are 2.5 months left.
And is it your first big trip?
No, this is about my 4th big trip.
And how did you get the taste for it?
I started traveling when I was 18, and I just love seeing different cultures, different places, different foods, and you know, it's quite addictive. I find traveling. Some people are like me. They go and then they love it, and then all you want to do is just go out there and travel. So every time I have some time off, then I do that, 3-4 months off, and I leave.
So when you're traveling, do you find it easier to meet people than when you're living back home?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Instantly people will talk to you, and instantly you want to talk to people. Everybody's on the same buzz. And the other thing is, nobody really cares about people when you're away. They don't care what you do or what your background is. It's not like at home when people judge you straight away for what you are. When you're travelling, everybody's on the same level, so you meet people really easily. Yeah, it's great.
I think it's great because you're anonymous. In a way, you have a license to behave how you want to behave.
Well, one of the really nice things about traveling in Asia is that there's a fair number of other people traveling, and most of them are pretty cool people, pretty nice. genuine people, and interesting as well. So you meet loads of people, and you can travel in a group or with other people around if you want, if it makes you feel safer. I ended up, one of the women that I met in India is now one of my best friends. We ended up traveling together for almost 4 months. We just met randomly in the airport, you know, one of those kind of things.
I've been in the littlest, tiniest little shacks in the middle of nowhere with the best friends. May have only known them for a week or a month, but they're the best friends I've ever had. And connect more in that short period of time than I have with people I've known all my life.
Yep, travelers, they're happy people, they exist by themselves.
And ultimately for me it is the people that make a place. If I look back at places I've been to, places I remember most favourably, it's the people. You know, I could go to 2 places and one has the most stunning scenery ever and somewhere else is fairly banal to the eye, but if that second place is where I met wicked people and someone really inspired me, a local or more often than not a traveller, someone really had a good head on their shoulders, that's the place I'll remember. So to me it's just, you get away, there's all the guard that you have from not meeting people at home. Like, we have pretty set social circles at home and you work hard, and then if you have time you don't see your best friends enough, so you go and see them, so you don't meet a lot of people, and it makes sense, I accept that now. But when you're travelling, all you do is meet people, you know, and within 2 minutes you're discussing something really quite interesting. You've jumped past all the what do you do's and where are you going, and you're on a level which might take weeks to get to at home, and invariably you don't get there anymore.
This is something one can see in the eyes of the survivor. Something you can sense in sheer grace and pride of life made so simple. The way sky and earth are simple. Roaming on the surface free, children make a run for it. Children make a run for it without ever looking back. Yeah, children make a run for it without ever looking back, ever looking back. Whether under blood-red skies or upon the big blue sea, be wary of your own ways. Listen to the smiles. Yeah, people make a run for it without ever looking back. Make a run for it without ever looking back, ever looking back. So simple an equation to be born, live and die for. Struggle deep down, roaming on the surface free. Children make a run for it without ever looking back. Yeah, children make a run for it without ever looking back, ever looking back. There's something strange
needed more than a holiday. I needed to do something more than just go to a beach and relax for 2 weeks. And I think primarily the reason was to shed suburbia, to shed the restrictions that Western life seemed to have been imposing on me for a while, and really to go to a place where I could open my mind up to new ideas and a new culture and a new way of life.
Well, I guess I wanted to be shocked. I wanted to be shocked and surprised, and yeah, I just wanted to see something I hadn't seen before.
Just finding beauty in other things that I'm used to.
I'm trying to escape the banality, the mundane nature of life at home. Not that my life at home is boring, but just because it is repetitive, because the same things comes along. So they lose their meaning because you do them so often, or you forget that those friendships that you have are special, or that that those family members are very important people and stuff like that. You kind of get taken up just in the day-to-day drudgery of living.
Touch wood, my life was pretty easy in Australia. It was very easy. Like, there was troubles and stuff like that, but at the end of the day it was very simple. And I guess I just wanted to see how the other half lives, how difficult life can be, or just for me to realise how lucky I am.
I mean, the big question is why you do that. And so far I have no answer to that. I mean, as you said, some try to get away from something, some try to find themselves, some try to become an adult, some think it's a good thing to become more self-confident or more self-conscious.
So it's a little bit like the Buddha, leaving his palace and starting to travel, We have to leave our little shells and start wandering. And that opens our mind, I think. We see a lot, and we experience a lot, and something starts clicking in the mind, I think.
For me, the most important thing is you change your point of view, because you don't feel that the place where you're born into is your destiny. So if you change your point of view and you have outstanding point of view now, and you can look where you live and what you're doing, that changes everything. And then it's your own choice to stay at this place and to live there and to work there. But if you never had this outstanding point of view, you think, that's just my destiny. And that's, for me, the big change as far as I'm traveling.
I've met more people and learnt a lot more things than I ever did at school or anything any education could ever teach me.
Seeing the humanity across the world and in different countries, you see that people are the same. There's certain elements that makes us human. People are the same everywhere. The way little kids cry is the same. There's nice people in every culture and there's jerks in every culture. And when you start to be able to see through just the differences to the fact that there's just a human being under that, I think that's a really valuable lesson.
Everything. I think since I've been travelling since I was a teenager, I think that if I think back to what I was like then, I was hardly conscious then, but I am conscious now. So I think I've learned everything travelling about. It's better than going to university in some ways.
I think one of the greatest things I've learned is that I can do that. Before I left home, people said, "Oh, you're traveling by yourself, you're so brave." And I thought that was ridiculous because I hadn't left yet. And now I think, oh, look, I can travel on my own. I can take care of myself. And that's definitely a lesson that I'll take with me everywhere I go in life, If you've managed to get around the world by yourself, then it makes a lot of the little problems you run into day to day seem like things you can handle.
Sometimes, it's painful, sometimes it's pretty hard, sometimes it's ugly, it's awful, and all these things, and you have to go through it. Some people say it's like a therapy, but at the end, I think you are a little bit more tough than you were before.
I feel a lot more confident, going back to Australia after experience some of the things that I have overseas here.
I mean, there's a lot of extreme situations that you come across here, which are so much more extreme than what I thought was extreme in my life in New York. And New York's a pretty intense place too. But going back there is going to be such a breeze now that I've been here.
It's because all my environment's changing and all the people I'm meeting is changing all the time. It just accelerates your learning, accelerates your growth. You mature faster.
Did you learn anything about yourself during these years?
All the time. And I think that's what life is really all about, just learning about yourself.
What kind of things have you learned on the road that you don't think you could have learned in New Zealand?
I think I would have learned in New Zealand, but it would have taken longer.
Well, because you loosen your bonds and attachments to things back home, which were sometimes hemming us in and making us very constricted in our thinking and very stale, really stale. So when you travel, I think it just opens you up. Your whole spirit feels opened.
Because they've broken out of the chains, the bonds that bind them, the relations, the friends, the fixed social schedule, the jobs, they're broken out. They're more free people, they're more independent, they're more individual.
Absolutely. I mean, it's nice to be taken out of the box that you're in when you're living in a Western civilization and get to experience different points of view and have different people react to you and the things that you say. I mean, it really makes you take a close look at yourself.
Definitely. I've learned more about myself in this time than I ever have. It's like these are the only 3 years that I've been living, and I've had to forget and try to unlearn the other 23 years of my life. I think the number one thing I learned, maybe not so much about myself, was a connection with spirituality, discovering that there is more to the world than just me, and that feeling that, knowing that I live in paradise and that things will always be okay. I can rock up to any city in the world or any town in the world with no money in my pocket, and I'll be okay.
How come?
Somebody will always take care of me. Things will always work out. As long as you're a good person, things just fall into place. I can't explain it, I don't know why, but it's given me a belief in, well, for lack of a better word, a belief in God that I never would have dreamt I would have ever found or ever thought I would have had before.
So you agree that traveling in itself is sort of a spiritual journey?
Definitely. Because when you have no destination in mind, no place to go, and all the time in the world to get there, you just allow yourself to be in tune to yourself, to your higher self, and to listen to that voice that just says, go here. So you go, okay, why not? I've got nothing better to do. And then you find out that that voice is right more often than it's wrong. And you start to follow that voice more and more. And it leads you to the most amazing places.
The other way, I would say that people who are more open spiritually are more likely to travel. I think that kind of openness of mind really crosses the boundary and can apply to both spiritual things and more earthly things like travel. Someone who's already shut down their mind, who's already made all their decisions and isn't willing to face new possibilities, is both not going to go on a spiritual quest and also not going to leave home.
People who travel a lot, I think they're making some kind of inner pilgrimage at the same time anyway. Whether they're just going out again and again to try and climb Everest, or whether they're going from ashram to ashram. I think there's a similar urge to go beyond the mundane, you know, and just the high street and the bank and the fish and chips and the mundane things back home or whatever, which have their own value, but after a while, they become a bit boring, if it's repeated to in a certain way. So people want to get out and explore.
And another thing is everyone who comes traveling is obviously looking for something or trying to learn something about the world or about life, so they've already got that interest. It's a self-selected population.
But just India itself is a teaching without having to go anywhere in particular. just being involved in the chaos and the madness, to see like all the different extremes, from the poorest to the poor to the richest of the rich and everything in between, and it's all like together and happening at the same time, and somehow or other working itself out. That in itself just challenges the mind, challenges the mindset. It causes the mind has to become more flexible.
Yeah, no, I do. I think that people, whether they are really looking for it or not, are going to change in some way coming to India.
Even if it's just, Madonna putting bindis all over her forehead, it's kind of, there's a sense of India as something not just exotic, I think, but India is some kind of pathway to, I don't know, inner reality, the heart, whatever, It's all a bit cliche, but India is the great mother, whatever, who shows the path to some kind of spiritual reality.
I don't know, for me it's like, it just makes me understand how chaos can work, basically, and how humanity in its rawest state can work, can fit somehow. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's an understanding which is a lot more humane than in a Western environment, because it's like, for example, the roads in India, they're absolutely crazy. How you just, what happens? You basically you're riding along. If you're a rickshaw, you get out of the way. If you're a taxi, if you're a taxi, get out of the way because there's a lorry. It's like hoot your horn. The roads, the whole system on the roads doesn't exist. It's hoot if you're coming and come through. Go charging through. The biggest truck wins, and mind out for the cow. But and this chaotic kind of order actually works. It works.
It's like this shock to your eyes. I think that once I leave here, everything is going to appear diluted.
I remember once going to the West and this is slightly tangent, but seeing the incredibly clean, empty villages or whatever, small towns of Holland, and thinking just how incredibly boring it was. And I think some people just need to get somewhere where there's a bit more life on show, just something a little different from how it is back home.
Sometimes when I wake up in the morning in India, I feel like I am at home. Sometimes when I wake up in India, I feel like I'm miles and miles away from home. So it just depends on what morning I'm waking up.
Every time I come, something is different. Every time, and you can come back every year for years and years, and it'll never be the same.
That's what India has to offer. A totally unique perspective on this planet that no other country can afford.
Especially in a place like this, if you're having a bad time, things can seem like the end of the world.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're having a good time, it can seem like
the best thing.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. It blew me away the first time, and it blew me away the second time.
I feel like I'm miles away from home.
Actually works. It works. It works. It works. It works. It works. It works.
Yeah, I just wanted to see something I hadn't seen before.
The end of the world.
Anything could happen. Anything could happen to me today. Anything.
Especially in a place like this. In a place like this. No money in my pocket. And I'll be okay.
Touch wood, 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 touch wood. We're all connected now, 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 connected now.
Oh, the children. The children, they're just gorgeous.
Because they've broken out of the chains, the bonds that bind them, they're more free people, more independent, they're more individual, more free people, 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 more free people.
Gorgeous. I think it's great because you're anonymous.
People are the same everywhere, Some people good, some people no good. They're looking for something.
they're happy people. They exist by themselves.
I can do that.
Touch wood.
Everyone's obviously looking for something. But you know, and this chaotic kind of order actually works. It works.
They think I've lost the plot. They think I'm now completely insane.
Thought I was just crazy.
They thought I was in a cult.
Crazy. Yeah. Whatever.
Chaos can work.
Whatever.
Completely insane.
New York's a pretty intense place too. Pretty intense place too.
No money in my pocket, and I'll be okay.
From the poorest to the poor, to the richest of the rich, and everything in between.
Don't forget your credit card.
Actually works. It works.
No school, no boy.
We're all connected now, and it's excellent.
It'll never be the same.
So what do your friends and family think about you traveling around the world like this?
They think I've lost the plot. They think I'm now completely insane. The fact that I'm 26 years old, I don't have a real job, I'm not making the amount of dollars I could be making, I don't have a large bank account, I don't have a lot of material possessions. Therefore, they consider I've wasted my life. But the things I have accumulated, the personal strength I have, the happiness I've enjoyed, is worth so much more than any amount of money. And I know that the happiness that I've experienced with next to nothing, most people with their millions of dollars and their fancy homes and all their cars and stress, they work so hard to try to achieve and try to reproduce that same feeling of contentment that I experience every day.
My mum, at the start, thought I was just crazy for going overseas by myself and all that, as a mother would. But she was very over the top in that emotion, very over the top, to the point where she wanted to deny me from taking off by myself.
Yeah, at first, man, they thought I was in a cult. Your parents thought you were in a cult? Yeah.
My friends, they just really don't understand. They just don't understand why, how, and, you know, what I'm doing. Yeah, you can talk about, you know, like some of the things that you see, these things that really affect your mind, and whereas you talk to your friends at home about it and they're like, yeah, whatever. They can't really relate to it because they haven't seen it, they haven't heard it.
I just sent you an email. Here you are.
Okay.
Come on, come be on TV with me.
Sometimes I love it and sometimes I hate it. It's just because I have to check my email, you know. And 8 years ago I wrote maybe 2 postcards to my mom to let her know, okay, I'm still alive. And I was so free.
We're all connected now, and it's excellent. It brought our family like totally together now. My mum and I couldn't really talk. My brother and I couldn't really talk, you know, like face to face. And I guess through traveling, you know, you just feel so confident about yourself. You don't mind typing away your thoughts and your desires, and yeah, just I do that now with no troubles. So I guess that's a plus for email, you know.
We do. I can't believe we had a discussion about how it's funny you save up all your money to escape your Western rut, and then you get overseas and have to, sit and wait for a couple of hours and do emails, and it's quite addictive. And
the
we
sweaty
think,
keyboards and, you know, yeah, anyway, sorry.
We think that's quite funny that you do get away, come here, and then start doing the email thing.
I think it takes away so much of the freedom that you talk about, getting away from it. And when you're travelling, people understand that, your friends understand that they'll get letters from you, and your folks understand you'll ring them once a month, because ringing can even be difficult, and that's kind of it. But here, someone emails you, you email back to them, they can email you straight away, and they can think, why don't I get it the next day? Why don't I hear from them again? So that there's just a constancy of feeling you should be in contact, and I think one of the whole things about travelling is to leave that contact, get away from all that.
I'm really addicted to it. As soon as I can, I go into an email shop and keep contact with a lot of people I met during my trip, and also with a few friends at home. I mean, it's a great thing, this email.
I may be in a place very far away, but no matter what the distance between us, I will always keep in touch with you. Maybe in a distant corner of the world, surrounded by strange faces in a strange land, I will always keep in touch with you. Yes, I will always keep in touch with you.
Miss most about traveling when you go back home?
Oh, what am I going to miss? I'm going to miss my friends. I'm really going to miss my friends. I've made this leaving today, it's getting a little but yeah, the people I've met on the road, and just that freedom and experience. Yeah, I need a second.
Don't worry about it.
I think I'll probably miss the severe diversities that every day in India, you know, you get to witness extreme dirt and absolute majesty and grandeur, poverty and sheer wealth. So I think I'll miss that. Like, in a way, I think I'll miss the chaos.
I think I'll miss the real feeling that every day when you wake up, anything could happen. I mean, really the possibilities are endless. Anything could happen to me today. And when you're home, that's not necessarily the case.
Oh, the children. The children, definitely. They're just gorgeous. I don't know, they seem very self-sufficient. They don't, because a majority of them are left to do what they want to do, they can run wild. And yeah, they're just really interesting to be around. There's not somebody always disciplining them. I think that, I don't know, a lot of Western parents are, always disciplining their kids. So the kids are kind of petulant and whatever. Here, they're just wild and curious, and they're allowed to run and roam free and play, and without sort of paranoid parents. So I'll miss that.
I sell cakes, banana cake, coconut cake I sell.
And you sell them to who?
From foreign people.
Oh yeah? The Indians don't buy banana cake?
Don't buy.
Why not?
Because I asking 40 rupees, this don't buy. 40 rupees, this asking too much.
And you go to school?
No school.
How come you don't go to school?
No, money is problem.
So you didn't go to school?
No going.
And how did you learn to speak such good English?
From tourist.
So you learned your English?
Yeah, from tourist I learn English.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you like the travelers?
What?
Do you like the foreign people? Are they nice?
Yeah, I like foreign people. Some people good, some people no good. Israel people is very different people.
Which ones are your favorite kind of people?
Canada. Yes.
Yes.
Canada's people is very good.
Oh yeah?
Canada.
I think we could learn by slowing down our life a little bit, you know, breaking the rat race if we could. But it would be difficult because it's an upward spiral in the West.
In Germany, that's like people are always stressed. I don't have time and running from here to there, and you never get a smile or rarely get a smile back from a person. That's really like just everybody's just concerned with his own stuff and just running around like this a bit blocked.
I think people who stay home and just work and struggle in that life, a lot of them are lost, more lost than the people that are traveling.
There's something magical that happens to you as you're traveling. If you are in one place, you could end up in like some kind of pattern which becomes easy, and you can kind of like just close your eyes and live your life. Whereas traveling, you're constantly inundated with new information. You have to process it and do something with it. And I think that really keeps people on the edge and keeps them alive, like really alive.
time that we spend travelling is like the time when you're really alive, when you really appreciate every single aspect of being alive.
It's amazing actually when you actually come and see these beautiful places, these beautiful people. So many people want to see it, but then they say, oh no money or no time or work, I don't get time off work. It's just they have to just do it, pack their things and come and see the world.
This is my first long trip away from home, and I left a job after 8 years. So it's been the best thing I could have done.
So I'm definitely gonna save some money again and go traveling again, because this is my first big trip, and yeah, I think it's too short, 2.5 months.
Just go for it. It's really, really easy. I mean, it's scary to take that first step and go beyond your comfort zones. But trust in yourself and trust in the universe to provide, and it'll all be right. Just go.
Save hard and go away.
Have no plans.
Yeah, go for it.
It's not that hard. It's not that big a deal.
Once you get here?
You feel really good. The hardest part is leaving, and the rest is cakewalk.
There are more reasons to travel than not.
Like, fuck it. Check it out. Spend your money.
And don't forget your credit card. Because you might stay longer. Or just don't take anything.
Such is my destiny, then this is where I'll go. Such is my destiny, then this is where I'll be. Such is my destiny, then this is where I'll go. Such is my destiny, then this is where I'll be.